Hi everyone. Hi. All right, cool. We're gonna get started. Welcome to 6148, formerly known as 6470. We have to change the name because of some registrar issues. But yeah, so we are still the web programming competition, and welcome. Yay! That was awfully young. Yay! All right, cool. So yeah, so we're super excited to have you guys here. We have a lot of money for you. We have a lot of food for you. It's going to be a great time. We're super excited. Oh, you also build some websites. That's cool too. We're really excited. It's going to be a great year. We've changed, great month. We've changed a lot of our lectures. We're going to hopefully make this whole process of website making and website learning a lot easier for you guys. Yeah. So 6148 is both a class and a competition. And I'll talk a little bit more about the requirements for both. 6148 is going to be 2 weeks of lectures, and then it's going to be like 2 weeks of you guys working really hard on your websites. 6148 is also an excellent opportunity to interact with our sponsors. We have 10 sponsors, 10, 9, 8 sponsors this year, and they're really cool. We'll see them later. So yeah, so here you will learn to build a modern dynamic website. And hopefully you will actually also build a modern dynamic website. And most importantly, you'll have fun. This is an IB class. This is meant to be fun. This is meant to be exciting. Hopefully. But yeah, so this is our core staff. A lot of people aren't here today. But I'm Victor. Xander, not here today. All right, that's cool. Tian, wave hi. Wave hi. David, wave hi. Alan, not here. Eva is also not here, and Professor Zelovich, our faculty sponsor. I've never met him. Hopefully I'll meet him one day. That'll be good. Alright. We also have a TA, Staley, in the corner there. He helps with stuff. Alright. So yeah, so our sponsors. We have Bloomberg, Facebook, TripAdvisor, Amplitude, Appian, Next Jump, Vecna, Barbie, Palantir. And these guys are all really cool. They give us money, we give you money, and you give them back money in the future, or something like that. Like the circle of life. It's cool. But yeah. Alright, learning resources. So we have a bunch of things for you guys so that you guys can build a website and be cool. The course website, MIT 647, MIT.edu/6470, that's going to be updated every day, if not like every hour, with information and whatever we talk about here. Random links that will help you get started. The lecture videos will also be posted online if you miss some slides. The slides will be posted online. That's what's important, the slides. All right. Office hours. We also have a large set of office hours. Though the schedule for that is on our website. You can also email us at 6148staff@mit.edu or just websites at mit.edu. If you have more personal problems or questions about general things like life, we'll answer those. But the best way to reach us is through Piazza. You can post questions there. We will respond to it. I think last year we had like a response time of 3 minutes or something. So like we literally have a phone in our hand all the time, like checking Piazza. So please ask us questions on Piazza. We'll answer your questions. Other people will see them because other people probably have the same questions too. You've heard this field before. Piazza. All right, cool. So this month, so week 1 is going to be our introduction, which is today. We're going to have a couple of lectures. These will help you get started. This will teach you the fundamentals of web programming. And you're going to spend a lot of time ideating and thinking about things of the theme with your team, or by yourself, if you're by yourself, or with one friend, if you're in a team of 2. So week 2, we have some guest lectures. We have some more advanced topics. These topics include web frameworks, things that will help you program easier. So frameworks and front-end frameworks and back-end frameworks. You'll also start doing some coding, hopefully. In week 3, you'll do some more coding. And last week, you'll code a lot more. Code a lot more. And then you'll have the final submission, which is where everything comes together. And this is really cool. We get to see everything you do. You get to see everything everyone else does. The judges, the sponsors, you get to see everything. And awards. This is where we hand out money. Money. And then you get to sleep. Cool. So this year's theme. All right, before we talk about this year's theme, so credit competition. So this class is both, you can get for both the credit and the competition part. It's 6 units of credit, and it's a chance to win cash. for the competition part. For credit, you have to complete the milestones. For competition, you have to complete the milestones. You have to complete the milestones. If you don't complete the milestones, we won't let you compete or get credit, or both. And for the credit, you have to submit a site by the end of IEP, so just a site that you build where we see all the steps through the milestones. And for the competition, you have to submit a site that fits this year's theme, and you have to do it by Tuesday, January 27th, noon. Note that time change this year is actually noon. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions so far about anything in general? Cool. All right, so if you're doing the class for either, please make sure to check. You check the eligibility rules online. Chances are, if you are an undergrad here and you haven't taken this or you haven't earned lots of money from us before, this is fine. You can take it without any problem. But yeah, make sure that if you're in a team or if you're class registered or if you're something that you don't know what you are, make sure you check your status, check if you're allowed to compete or not, and do it before milestone 0. Cool. Cool? Cool. All right. Milestones. So there are a couple of milestones that you guys have to complete. So the first one is just to get set up. This is really easy. You guys give us your names, and we give you a Git repo. And if you don't know what a repository, a Git repo is basically a place where you put all your code, and it'll be magical. So yeah, this is where you get set up. Get set up. Cool. So milestone 1, you will pitch your initial idea to us. You will make some quick wireframes and some sketches just so that we make sure that you're on track. We see what you're doing, if your thing is relevant to our theme. And it also helps us gain a better understanding. Like, we'll tell you, oh god, like 50 other teams are doing this. You sure you want to go through with this? This happens a lot, and this is a lot of fun because everyone thinks their idea is so original, and then we're like, no, and then there's that. But that's cool too. So yeah, milestone 2 is where you'll present us with a minimal viable product. So that's our MVP milestone. You'll make something that will kind of work. Like, it won't look like the most prettiest thing in the world, but you can click on it, you can log in, you can do what you're supposed to do on the website. Yeah. And then the final submission is everything. That's everything. Cool. All right, does anyone know what this is? Anybody? 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 It's a graph of guesses. Anybody have any guesses? Go.
Users of a website over time.
Close, not quite. Go.
The amount of work we'll do this January.
That's pretty close. So these are actually commit logs over IEP. So for those who don't know what Git commits are, that roughly corresponds to how much work you'll do over this IEP. And you can see a couple of interesting spikes there. So I'm not going to try to convince you guys not to do that, because I think enough classes have told you not to procrastinate. But we all still do it. It's okay. I know. But yeah, so this is what you kind of want your workload to be like. You generally start ramping up when you start coding, and then you take a little break, and then you code a lot more, and then you sleep. That's you take a little break. That's your break. You get 1 day or something. Or you can just not even take a break and just code all over again, and just have 2 days of skiing. You can go skiing. Anyway, so yeah. So we also have a rookie division this year. This is for people with little to no programming experience. If you're thinking about doing this, be forewarned that it's really for people with little to no programming experience. This also has a set of different prizes, and it's a completely different category. We'll judge you differently. We'll look at you with a little bit of judgment. So this is with no teams with greater than 50% for 6 juniors, seniors, or grad students. Again, if this is really weird to you, if you're EE or if you're some scenario, talk to us. Send us an email. Clarify. Because if we talk to you and you're I've never done programming in your life and I'm a 4.6, then we're sure. And make sure you indicate your division by milestone 1. So let us know. Let us know. Cool. We also have a set of extended office hours this year. This is a cool time for you to spend tons of time with us. That's a scary thought. So it'll be January 15th from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. in 32124, and that's in Stata over there. This is for us, this is for you guys to get milestone 2 done. It's for you to like sit in the room with us. You'll bang your heads on your laptop as you try to code. We'll bang our heads on your laptop as we try to figure out your code. It'll be a good time. And there'll be tons of food and snacks. It's generally a pretty cool time. Anybody have any questions? All right, all this information is on our course website. It's a lot of it. Cool. All right, so the theme for 2015. All right, before we talk about the theme, so judging. So for this year, we're going to judge you based on 4 sets of slightly different criteria from before. The first one is functionality. So this is the technical components of your website. So this is how well does your website do what it's supposed to? Like, if we click on it, does it like return the data from the backend? Does it like spawn errors, or does it log in? Usability, this is how easy your site is to use with regards to UI and UX, how well your things are designed. Does it take 5 hours to input a little description of yourself, or is it super simple and intuitive? Aesthetics, this is the look and your feel of your site, so this is how pretty it looks. This is why we can have nice things. This is again, these are all things that we'll go over more in detail. And concept execution, this is how well your website solves the problem that you guys identified. This includes originality of your idea, how you tackle it, and a bunch of other things. So, things you must do. You must build a site. You must build a site that's supported by some sort of backend. Again, if you don't understand what this means, we'll go over it in detail later. You must have some sort of personal experience based on whoever logs into the site. So that means that if I log in, it's going to be different from if David logs in. So maybe we'll see a name of ourselves, or maybe we'll see a description. You must have an original design and implementation. You cannot just copy another site, or you cannot take an idea from another site directly. Some portion of that must be you. You have to use Git, and you have to use MIT's GitHub. Again, don't worry about that. We'll set you up. It'll be cool. Okay, things you can do. You can use backend frameworks such as Ruby on Rails, Django, Node. These are ways to make your life easier. They're also ways that companies make their life easier by using these frameworks to build their websites. So this is fine. There's also some front-end frameworks that you guys can use to make your things prettier, your websites prettier. Things you cannot do. You cannot use a CMS like Drupal or WordPress. We'll be really sad if we see a WordPress site again. You're not fooling us. No one is fooling us. You cannot use a stock template. You cannot use a previous project or a significant portion of a past project. You've done a lot of web programming before. You cannot use a past 6470 site. You cannot outsource your development. Don't do that. That's rude. Yeah, you guys have a total budget of like $0, so don't do that. That's cheating. And also, you guys can't just do general evil things like plagiarism or like sites that are evil, like they take down other sites or something. Don't do that. Cool. All right. So the theme. Ooh. But first, so the theme for this year is. That's the theme for this year. We have one theme. That's it. Around the world. Yeah, I see a lot of you kind of like, yeah, all right, I got this. Cool. So, what does that mean? Well, that means you can do a lot of different things. You can do, You can do travel-related sites. You can do sites that help you plan your adventures. You can do sites that take you around the world. You can take that very literally if you want. You can literally find sites that help you go across every country, or you can make a site that again helps you on this adventure in some way, like around the world. Some guy just went around the world without a plane and came back from his 4-year spiritual journey recently. Maybe you can help people be more like him. Maybe that's a website you want to try. Cool. You can narrow it down. You can look at cities. You can look at their cultures. You can do a site that takes advantage of different things, different cultures in different places, languages, food, whatever is exciting to you. You can do something related to politics, or the United Nations, or global organizations, or how they communicate with each other, or how people understand them, or how they understand people. You can do something related to media, how people around the world communicate with each other, how things in the world communicate with each other. There are so many different forms of communication nowadays. I can't even, all the different apps. But yeah, it doesn't even have to be a real world. It can be a fictional world. Minecraft. It can be whatever you want to be in, wherever you want to be in. A world, a game, your world. What does around the world mean to you? Yeah, that's the theme for this year. Yeah, cool. So that about wraps up the whole introduction thing. So that's 6148 this year. We're gonna go through some quick things about the web. This is gonna be like a super quick and short lecture on understanding the web and what it really means, and what is the web. All right. So we're gonna start off by doing a quick activity. So under your chairs, there should be a sheet of paper. Okay, so it's just a sheet of paper. There's nothing exciting on it. Okay, write your name. So put your page. It's very important. Portrait, and write your name in the top left-hand corner. Okay, and if you can't, then it's fine. But try to explain the difference. Just write down a couple of lines of the difference between the internet and the web, and a website and a web app. Again, if you don't know, then say you don't know, or draw a picture of a cat. It's fine. You're not trained on this. You honestly get it. Yeah, and I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to write this down. Roughly 20 seconds left. All right, time's up. Okay, so that was 20 seconds, trust me. So pass your pages, write down your final thoughts, pass your pages to the aisles, and David and Staley will collect them. It's okay, it's not, I'm not we're not grading these. We don't have that kind Alright, so cool. So while we wait for lunch, we're going to talk a little bit about what is a website. Well, Website. Website. That's not really helpful. So it's a connected group of pages on the web. And then what is the web? The web is an information system on the internet that allows documents to be connected with other documents. So what is the internet? Well, the internet is this global system of computers. So the website, the World Wide Web sits on the website. The World Wide Web sits on the internet, and the internet also works to make a lot of other things possible, like internet phone calling or email. So yeah. So anybody recognize this man? Yeah, Tim Berners-Lee. His full name, Sir Timothy John Tim Berners-Lee. Sir Timothy John Tim Berners-Lee. Yeah, so he invented the World Wide Web. Very different from inventing the internet. So he wrote the first web browser and the server in 1990. Right now, he sits in Stata. That's his office right there. Go congratulate him or something. Pretty cool guy. All right. What is a web application? What is the difference between a web app and a website? So these two terms are kind of thrown around a lot, and there's no real definition of this. This is sort of like a subjective definition of a lot of experts on the web right now. And basically what they're saying is that websites are static. So websites are a little bit more like information-based, just purely websites. So maybe like a homepage for your dog. That would be just purely like a website. Whereas web apps might be a little bit more interactive and they're action-driven. So you would go on it to do things. Like Google Calendar. That's a web app. Cool. So yeah, Google Maps, web app or website? Web app. Web app. Hands up. Web app. Website. Cool. The 618-4A site. Web app or website? Web app. Website. Cool. Facebook. Web app or website? Web app. Website. Cool. All right. Yeah, it's an interesting little thing. So why a web app? So this comes up a lot when people take 6470 and they're like, oh my god, I have a great idea. Let's build an iPhone app for it, and then they drop our class. And that's really sad. But no. So why a web app? Why are web apps different from mobile apps or software that you just download? So web apps are, in a sense, cross-platform, and I use this term very loosely. The idea is that you can use it on any device with a browser, and because so many devices have browsers now, your site will be accessible for like phones, tablets, computers, a lot of different kinds of users, and whether or not you choose to design for them is a different story, but they can be viewed on different things. Web apps are less thought of as on the go and more sort of they have the thorough features. So if you think about apps and if you think about programs out there, like Dropbox or Facebook, just websites in general, their full website has a lot more features than their mobile phone counterpart. So you might not be able to change all the settings, you might not have all the abilities, and websites are thought of as this general control of everything. And again, this definition is slowly shifting a lot. So a lot of apps like Vine and Snapchat, a lot of these things, you can only do through phones. And on their website, you can log in, but it's the features are limited there. So again, that definition is changing. Web apps also expect users to stay on your apps for longer in one sitting. So although there are a lot of productivity apps on phones and tablets in general, websites are still like the dominant place where you go to do things, to get things done. This means that if you wanted to type a long essay about yourself, you would probably do it on a computer, because it has this wonderful thing called a keyboard that's attached where you don't have to, type in the whole thing. So yeah, it has the ability for you to do a little bit more, do more complicated interactions. Web apps. Okay, I'm going to briefly go through some terms and how a website works when you access it. So server. So a server is a computer that stores and serves a website. Any computer sitting in the world can be a server. Your computers right now aren't servers because they aren't. If I go to your computers, they wouldn't serve me a website. Clients. Clients are your computer or whatever you use to access the internet. This is typically your browser, so when you go on your browser, that's the client, you're accessing a server. Accessing a website usually looks something like this. You go into your browser and type, you guys know this. So when you access a website, basically you're going to the server and you're sending an HTTP request. So you're being like, hey, yo, website, can I get this page here? And the server responds with a bunch of information. This is the HTTP response, and this is a package of web content. This is going to be discussed a lot, this IP, this web content stuff, HTTP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And this web content is what builds your website. So it's a bunch of code, and then it makes your website maybe look something like this. So yeah, so part of this package of stuff that's sent back, there's HTML. It looks kind of like that. It basically stores the information. It provides the content of your site, so maybe all the text, maybe the overall layout, the big picture of the layout where boxes go, and the hierarchy of your information, so headers and lower headers and paragraphs. This is a website. This is the Google Calendar About website. This is without any CSS or JavaScript. This is what it looks like. And you can see that it's got the basic components. It's got text. It's got images. It's got like a lot of images duplicated. It's got more images. Anyway, it looks pretty messy with just HTML. Cool. CSS. CSS is what provides the styling of a website. It makes things pretty. CSS is, for those who don't know, a set of rules. There'll be a lecture about this, of how to style your website. So maybe it's the font size or the color or background. These are things that tell your website, how to behave. And with CSS, we can make your website look a lot prettier. Ooh. That's the Google Calendar, like the news website. And JavaScript allows for a bunch of interactions on your website. So again, it looks like code. Again, if this doesn't make sense, don't worry about it for now. All you have to know is that it does things to your website. It changes it midair. Yeah, so it can make your website look even cooler. Ooh. That's done with JavaScript and fancy things. Yeah. So all right. So we are. That's all I'm going to go through for websites for today. So we have a short ideation exercise, and this is just a chance for you guys to throw out as many ideas you have about the theme as possible. So go ahead and go on to here. Cool. So after lunch we'll have a ideation and wireframing lecture. So just sit tight. Lunch should be here pretty soon.